Hi Adri. Yes, low thyroid can cause hypertension, and it also can cause low blood pressure. It's always a good idea to check out your labs on the thyroid hormone as well as the adrenal hormone. The thyroid work together with the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are, of course, on top of the kidneys, and they are working with stress levels in the body, as well as it regulates the heart. The thyroid also work on regulating the heart, and as well as the arteries and capillaries and the veins, the tension in the arterial walls. So it depends on the thyroid whether the arteries and capillaries and veins are flexible. So if you have too much thyroid hormone or too low thyroid hormone, it can affect, give you hypertension, or it can give you low blood pressure. Low blood pressure, of course, is not a great danger, except if it falls too low. Then you can go unconscious, of course, and you can fall, or you can get into an accident, etc. But it's always a good idea to check out a complete thyroid panel and adrenal panel with your doctor. In video 123, Amy Berger talks about T3 and T4 and TSH, the different kind of hormones, thyroid hormones. And she says that doctors normally only check for TSH, the thyroid stimulating hormone, and the T4 levels. But the T3 levels, they never check it, because T4 is used to produce T3, and they reckon because if there's enough T4, you will have enough T3. But T3 is the potent hormone. But what Amy say in that particular video on my blog, number 123, what if the TSH is normal, the T4 is normal, but the T3 is not normal for some other reason? Check out the video and discuss it with your doctor. But you're doing good with the low carbohydrate diet. You're doing good with eating no carbohydrates or low carbohydrates, because there's a link between thyroid problems and insulin resistance. And as you mentioned that you were insulin resistant, I don't know what is the current levels that you are experiencing, but you can absolutely make it better, and I think you did. But there's a definite link between hypothyroidism, with other words, a low thyroid hormone, and insulin resistance. There's a link between the two, and there's also a link between high glucose levels in your blood and thyroid problems. So somebody that struggles with regulating the glucose levels in their body might also struggle with their thyroid as well. So the thyroid, of course, is a very interesting hormone, and as I said earlier, doctors don't look to the T3, and as Amy further say in video 123, the normal range, your doctor might tell you, no, your T4 levels are in the normal range, or your TSH levels are in the normal range, or even your T3 levels are in the normal range. But it might not be optimal for you. So you have to adjust your medication together with your doctor but listen to the video and you'll understand. But Audrey's commentary was about the salt, and I've recently learned that eating a high salt diet, even if you eat low carb, can cause you to be insulin resistant within 5 days. It's video number 12 on my blog. And also, if you have high acidity levels, you can become insulin resistant. And just to say it again, the high salt and the high uric acid trigger the polyol pathway, which triggers the liver to convert glucose to fructose. And the fructose goes to fat, so you get a fatty liver. And also the fructose goes to uric acid, so it's a vicious cycle. And insulin resistance upregulate salt retention on your kidneys, so now you have hypertension. And insulin resistance upregulates uric acid retention on your kidneys. Now you have higher uric acid levels, which can present itself in the body in the form of gout, but not always. As arthritis, but not always. You can have skin problems. You can have heart problems. You can have problems with your mental faculties. There is a very high risk, for instance, for Alzheimer's, 55%, with people that have high uric acid levels. So how do you get rid of your high uric acid levels? Firstly, eat a low carbohydrate diet, as Audrey is doing. Secondly, don't eat a lot of salt, as Audrey is doing. So consider the carnivore diet. You don't have to do the carnivore diet. You can do it with the ketogenic diet or with the Banting diet if you do it properly. Don't cook with unsaturated seed oils as sunflower or canola. But a carnivore diet is the quickest way to get rid of insulin resistance, because we don't eat any fruit or vegetables or any starch. So we cut out sugar completely, because starch goes to glucose in 30 minutes. A potato, if you convert that starch to glucose, it's about 7 teaspoons of glucose in 30 minutes. That's why you get that energy spike. But check out my blog and check the frequently asked question playlist. Another thing that you can do to improve or get rid of insulin resistance is to exercise. If you exercise, your body don't need insulin or your cells don't need insulin to utilize glucose. Now you might say, on the carnivore diet we don't eat any glucose, or our bodies only get protein and fat, so it should not be a problem. But the body can still produce glucose by the process of gluconeogenesis in the liver. Your body do need glucose, but you don't need to consume it. Your body can make it. So if you need glucose, your body can make it. Your brain runs perfectly well on ketones, but if you do need glucose, your body can make it. And other places where the body does need glucose, for instance, as I said, with exercise, you'll find that your glucose levels rise with exercise, which is a good thing, even though you are carnivore. This is not the same as eating a lot of sugar or starch. The glucose that is made in your body does not have the same detrimental effects as if you would consume a lot of carbohydrates, for instance. It's not the same. So other reasons why you might experience higher glucose levels is if you have an infection or some inflammation or injury. Your body will produce glucose for the process.